Joseph, the Saudi stock market is opening itself up to outside investment, direct outside investment for the first time. What kind of a market is this, and should outside investors be interested?
Well, the market you might want to compare it to, and it would be a topical comparison at the moment, is Russia. They're both oil-drenched stock markets. The Saudi market is made up of petrochemicals companies as well as cement, construction, banks, the usual emerging markets candidates. And obviously Russia has Gazprom, Rosneft and similar companies. They both, as markets, have free float market capitalizations of $227 billion, however, which is odd because the MICEX, the Russian index, trades at 6 times earnings. The Cotterill, the Saudi index, trades at 18 times. And the Russian index obviously has been open to foreign investment for some time.
That's a big price difference, I guess. With the Saudi index, you will be getting arguably more political stability in Saudi Arabia than you might be in Russia. But what about the underlying shape of the economy and the market? 18 times earnings suggests you'd be paying for a lot of growth. Is that kind of growth being delivered?
Well, I mean, the IMF likes the economy. It's growing about 4 to 5%. It has a relatively young population, which demographically Russia doesn't. However, you can't buy into, for example, Saudi oil production, because Saudi Aramco famously is one of the biggest unlisted companies in the world with like $300 billion of revenue. Whereas obviously you can invest in Gazprom, Rosneft, despite the Russian state having significant stakes in them.
So how should investors see this market? What should they compare it to? Russia's obviously a similarly sized alternative, but is this an emerging market like India or China, or is this more of a frontier market for investors?
I mean, if it was to be considered a frontier market with that over $200 billion market capitalization, I mean, if it was going to the MSCI sort of benchmark frontier index, it would be 2/3 weighted instantly, so it would be quite outsized. Whereas if it was going to the MSCI EM index over the next few years, it would be a more normal 4% weighting alongside, Mexico and Malaysia. However, it's the real question is valuation, because Russia is cheap, the Saudi market is not, with that 18 times earnings and 2.4 times book value. So it may be an alternative to Russia or to other EMs, but it's not cheap.
Well, if nothing else, it's a new destination for investors to look at, and as you say, an interesting, although expensive alternative to Russia. Joseph, thanks very much.